dated a guy that dressed up for work every single day for 3 months for a job he no longer had. He would get ready for work, top, pants, boots, hat, jacket, every single day at the same exact work schedule, the same exact hours, and still had no job to go to. If I was working, I would try to schedule lunch or for us like to do something before he went to work. We were out somewhere, he would get the rest of his food to go, give me a kiss, and hit the road. He would FaceTime me as, he's on his way to work, and that would just be that. Since I was a nail tech, I naturally started doing his mom's nails. And eventually, she started pulling up in the car that he was driving to work in. My salon suite was in the very front of the building, so I could see anyone that drove up. Without my knowledge, he was texting her and asking her not to park in the front so that I wouldn't see the car, because he knew the car that he pulled off to go to work in was going to be the same one that she was going to pull up in, and that I may have questions. Of course I noticed. Of course I had questions. So I'd be sitting there trying to put 1 and 2 together, and I would ask his mom, "Did you see him before he left work?" She'd be like, "We switched cars." Like, what's the big deal? Nothing's the big deal except for he doesn't work in the direction of your house. He works the opposite. And unless y'all met up with each other just to switch cars, I didn't understand. I'm a very observant person naturally, so I notice everything. I wasn't even trying to be an asshole about it, but it happened more than one time to where things just did not add up. There would even be times where me and his mom were actually hanging out doing stuff. And I would look at the time and it would be close to time where he's supposed to get off work. I would order something for him to eat because he's been at work all day. He's more than likely very hungry. And when he gets off of work, he needs to eat. She would just kind of look at me like. So at this point, we both looking at each other crazy. I don't know the truth. And I'm just thinking, my man needs to eat. And she knows that her son has been in her house just eating whatever he wants to because he's not working. I'm like, "How's work?" He says, "Work's fine." I respond, "If you're even at work." He showed up to my nail salon suite maybe 10 to 15 minutes later. He worked farther than 10 to 15 minutes from my salon suite. Came in there yelling with an attitude. Rah, 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 rah. Calm down. Because if you were at work, how'd you get off of work so quickly? And if you were at work, you're not supposed to be off until 11 o'clock. This is not that important to get off of work for. What are you doing? So obviously, my suspicions are even higher. His mom asked me to go to the ABC store. So when I got off of work, I went to the ABC store for her and brought it over to the house. There's food there, and it's inching closer to the time he's supposed to get off of work. But there's no pizza that he will eat left. This man only eats cheese pizza, nothing else. So I say, maybe I should just order him a pizza for himself, because he'll eat the whole thing. And his mom's like, "No, he'll figure it out, it's fine." You gonna tell me, my man? She finally has to break it to me that he's been upstairs the whole entire time. I don't know who had his car, but his car wasn't there at the house. So he was upstairs, literally knocked out for hours. We're under the same roof. Naturally, I'm pissed the fuck off because what's really going on? Later that night, me and his mom had a heart-to-heart, and I was telling her, everything that I'm putting together is not adding up, but I know I'm not crazy, and I know I'm not stupid. She says to me, "This is my son. I know everything about my son. If my son wasn't working, I would know before you would know, etc., etc. My son, my son, my son. Somebody needs to tell me something." And my whole thing was, this is life. It happens. We're adults. People get laid off. People lose their jobs. People quit. People get fired. Okay. I just want to know, why am I being left in the dark? I felt like I was the most understanding person through anything. She ends up sending him a text message before I even get to him and says, "I think it's okay to tell her." Mind you, when I got to him, he hadn't checked his phone. So I glanced over at his phone and saw the text message that his mom sent him. And that's when I knew the whole family was in on this but me. And naturally, he says, "Babe, I gotta tell you something. You were right." So I share this story to say, If you feel like something is not adding up, you're probably right. And you need to get your investigative skills going to make sure that 1 + 2 = 3. And that 2 + 2 = 4. And that 1 + 1 = 2. Because at the end of the day, you're probably not tripping. And the closest people to him are probably helping him cover up whatever he's got going on. Men will only allow you to know what they want you to know. They'll only show you things that they want to show you. So start investigating early. Know your shit before the next person lies to you.